Really simple tool that I came to this by realizing that most people's who are making financial mistakes and have a problem with money, it's not because of a lack of intelligence. It's ignorance. And for most people, they actually have no idea how much money they're making or spending. And if you ask them, like, how much money do you make per month? And how much money do you spend per month overall? Most people in that situation either couldn't tell you or they would give you an answer that's false. And I think the very basic, such boring advice that goes the longest is check your bank account balance every single day. It takes
Every single day?
every day. It takes 10 seconds. It's not that hard. And just to give yourself some sense of how much money is coming in and how much is going out. Just be cognizant of it. I've never, not, people don't do this anymore, but back in a different generation, balancing your checkbook was always a big thing. Most people don't do it anymore. But I remember for my entire life, since I've been a teenager, I've never had any desire to never need to do that because I know my bank account balance down to the dollar every day since I've been 16 or 17. And I think just having that awareness of what's going in and what's going out is the most basic advice. But for people who are new and starting out, nothing goes further than that. It's not a lack of intelligence, it's ignorance. You just have to become aware of what you're spending and how much is coming in and how much is going out. That's the very first thing.
And what's the next thing?
The other thing is financial independence exists on a spectrum. It's not black and white. So most people would say, we talked about this earlier, why save $20? That doesn't seem like it's going to make any difference whatsoever. So I'm not even going to save. Every dollar that you save is a piece of your future that you own. Every dollar that you save is a little bit marginally more comfort that you're going to have if you get laid off, if you have a medical emergency, if your car breaks down. Every single dollar is getting you to that place. So if you view independence as black and white, either I'm filthy rich or there's no reason to do it, then I understand why you would say, why even save? When you view it as every dollar that I save is a piece of my future that I control, it's a night of sleep in the future that's going to be a little bit better. I think the desire to save becomes even more. And you don't feel like it's idle money, like you're saving money and it's just sitting there not being used. It can give you pleasure today, right now. And I think some of the best financial decisions I've ever made was what I didn't do. I almost bought a house in my early 20s that I wouldn't have been able to afford, that would have locked me down to a region of the country that I didn't want to stay in, that would have done all kinds of things that in hindsight would have been terrible. And the freedom, the independence that I had by renting earlier in my life of getting up and going, moving to where the jobs were, I look back at that in hindsight as being an absolutely wonderful thing.
Well, as I listen to you, what I'm realizing, it's also a matter of expectations.
Yeah,
If you expected to be able to afford a house in your late 20s or early 30s, then of course you're going to think you failed.
right.
But if you shift your expectations and say to yourself, if I'm patient, markets go up and down, inflation goes up and down,
Yeah,
mortgage rates go up and down. If I am patient, I will be able to figure this out. And when the timing is right and when I can afford it, I will find the right house for me.
yes,
And that's the way that you manage the stress that you feel right now, because it's your expectation based on what society's telling you or your
right.
parents are telling you that is making you miserable around the topic. One of the other big lessons of your work is the importance of mastering saving money. And I had always made the mistake of thinking about making more money. I got to make more money in order to have more money. And you really switched my thinking to focus on saving. Can you talk about why saving is so important versus the obsession with making more?
Well, so much is just what you need to be happy and content. And for someone, I've always felt like my level of savings, since I don't need that much to be happy. My wife and I live a good life, but not a very materially flashy life. So we don't need that much to kind of check the boxes in our life. And so I feel like that can be a superpower for your savings.